helps in financial forecasting and planning. So the ratio analysis is much helpful in financial forecasting and planning. Planning is looking ahead and the ratio calculated for the number of years work as a guide for the future. The meaningful conclusion can be drawn for the future from these ratios. Helps in forecasting and planning. Helps in communicating. So with the help of ratios, we can find out whether the firm's strength and weaknesses of the firms. Then the information contained in the financial statements is conveyed in a meaningful manner to one for whom it is meant. The ratios helps in communicating and enhancing the value of the financial statements. The next one helps in coordination. Ratio even helps in coordination, which is of utmost importance in effective business management. Better communication of efficiency and weakness of enterprise result in better coordination in the enterprise. Helps in control. Ratio analysis even helps in making effective control of the business. Standard ratio can also be based upon the pro forma financial statement, and variances or deviations, if any, can be found by comparing the actual with the standard so as to take a corrective action at the right time. The weakness or otherwise, if any, come to the knowledge of the management, which helps in effective control of the business. The last one is other use. There are so many other use of the ratio analysis. It can be essential to be part of the financial statement as they bring the strength or the weakness of a firm. Second, utility to the shareholder or investment. This is next our B point. So under this, utility to shareholder and the investor, the person is going to see the financial position of the company. Then he will find out whether the assets are in good quantity, whether if he is investing, he will get a nice dividend or the interest. Then only if the concern has sufficient amount of asset, then the long-term solvency ratio will help him in assessing the financial position. The profitability ratio will help him out in knowing how much profit the firm or the company is making, and whether they are going to pay the investors the good amount of interest or the dividends. Then the next we are going to study is utility of the creditors. So the creditors or the supplier extend short-term credit to the concern. They are interested to know whether the financial position of the concern warrants their payments at a specific time or not. The concern pays short-term creditors out of its current asset. If the current assets are quite sufficient to meet the current liabilities, then the creditor will not hesitate in extending the credit facilities. Current and asset ratio will give an idea about the current financial position of the concern. The next one is utility to the employees. The employees are also interested in the financial position of the concern, especially profitability. Their wage increases and the amount of fringe benefit are related to the volume of profits earned by the concern. The employee makes use of information available in financial statement. Various profitability ratios relating to gross profit, operating profit, net profit, etc. enable employee to put forward their viewpoint for the increase of wages and other benefits. The next one is utility of government. Government is interested to know the overall strength of the industry. Various financial statements published by the industrial units are used to calculate the ratio for determining short-term, long-term, and overall financial position of the concerns. Profitability indexes can also be prepared with the help of ratios. Government may be bases its future policies on the basis of industrial information available from various units. and the ratio may be used as an indicator of overall financial strength of the public as well as private sector. In the absence of reliable economic information, government plans and policies may not prove successful. The last one is tax audit requirements. Section 44A and B was interested in Income Tax Act by the Financial Act 1984. Under this section, every assessee engaged in any business and having turnover or gross receipts exceeding 40 lakhs is required to get accounts audited by the chartered accountant and submit the tax audit report before the due date for filing the return of income section under section 139(1), that is subsection 1. In the case of professional, a similar report is required to gross receipt exceeds 10 lakh. Clause 32 of Income Tax Act require the following accounting ratio should be given. First one, gross profit ratio. Second, net profit or turnover. Next, stock in trade or turnover. And the last one is material consumed or finished goods produced. Further, it is advisable to compare the accounting ratio for the year under the consideration with the accounting ratio for the earlier 2 years so that the auditor can make the necessary inquiries if there is any major variation in the accounting ratios. Next one we are going to study, that is limitation of ratio analysis. So the first one is limited use of single ratio, lack of adequate standards, inherent limitation of accounting, change of accounting procedure, window dressing, then personal bias, uncomfortable, uncomparable, absolute figure distortive, price level changes, ratios, no substitutes, clues not conclusion. So it is easy to calculate the ratio, and we can take the advantage of for making the decisions whether we need to invest it or not. So there are some of the limitations as well as for these ratio analysis. The first one is limited use of single ratio. A single ratio usually does not convey any much of the sense. To make a better interpretation of a number of ratio have to calculate, which is likely to confuse the analyst that help him in making any meaningful conclusion. The second one is lack of adequate standards. So with the help of standards we can't find out the real decision because or the real result, because sometimes the standard or the rule of thumbs won't apply on all the ratios which can be accepted or as the norms. It renders interpretation of the ratio and a difficulty. The next one is inherent limitation of accounting. Like financial statement, ratios also suffer from the inherent weakness of accounting records such as their historical nature. So with the help of historical ratios, we can't find or we can't say that the ratio of the past are not necessarily true indicators of the future. Next one is change of accounting procedure. Change in accounting procedure by a firm often makes ratio analysis misleading. Example, a change in the valuation of method of inventories from LIFO to FIFO increases the cost of sales, reduces considerably the value of closing stock, which makes stock turnover ratio to be lucrative and as an unfavorable gross profit ratio. Next one is window dressing. The financial statements can be easily be window dressed to present a better picture of financial and profitability position to the outsider. Hence, one has to be very careful in making decision from the ratio calculated from such financial statements, but it may be very difficult for an outsider to know about the window dressing made by the firm. So there are some other points as well. That is personal bias. Ratio are only means of financial analysis and not an end in itself. Ratio can be interpreted and different people may interpret the same ratio in different way. Uncomparable. Not only industries differ in their nature but also the firms of the similar business widely differ in their size and accounting procedure, etc. It makes comparison of ratios difficult and misleading. Absolute figures distortive ratio devoid of absolute figures may prove distortive as a ratio analysis in primarily a quantitative analysis, not a qualitative analysis. Price level change. While making ratio analysis, no consideration is made to change in the price level, and this makes an interpretation of ratio invalid. Ratio no substitute. Ratio analysis is merely as a tool of financial statement. Hence, ratio becomes useless if separated from statements from which they are computed. Clues, not conclusions. Ratio provides only clues to analysis, not final conclusions. These ratios have to be interpreted by these experts, and there are no standard rules for interpretations. So in our next class, we will study the classification of ratios.